All right,
this is the problem that we have dealing with scumbags like this. If I go to Gaza, the people of Gaza will kill me. If I go to the West Bank, the people of the West Bank would kill me. But why? You need to ask them that question. The entire Iranian regime is going to be history. Sooner or later, the next level is going to be massive assassinations in Tehran. Everybody who helped the attacks on October 7th, everybody who orchestrated the attacks against the Jewish people.
Mosab Hassan Yousef doesn't hold back. His explosive critique on the situation in Gaza, the role of Hamas and the Iranian regime is a call to arms that will have you questioning everything. Keep watching to see how he dismantles the arguments of those who refuse to face the reality of what's happening in Gaza. And he has a lot to say about Islam too.
The Muslims don't want the Jewish people to return to their homeland. The Jewish people are indigenous of that land with overwhelming evidence, and it has never been a fight over land. It's a religious fight that started some 1400 years ago. It's motivated by great hatred against the Jewish people. They don't want to accept the Jewish people to exist in that land, and the entire world is in denial in this fact. We say that this is the root cause problem. Nothing can satisfy their ambition.
He delves deeper into the heart of the conflict, revealing a narrative of religious hatred spanning centuries. And he doesn't stop at words. His condemnation of Palestinian violence is sharp and unyielding. This man is powerful. He is the son of a founder of Hamas, so speaks with authority. Just listen to how he condemns the actions of his own father's organization.
Killing, looting, raping, kidnapping are not forms of resistance. You know, Gandhi led resistance. It was a peaceful resistance. It bare fruit eventually. But what so-called Palestinians and the Palestinian revolution, it's a revolution without a compass. It's going to nowhere.
He's right, this is no revolution, it's chaos. He compares it to a revolution without a compass and asks when the world will recognize the damage caused by this misguided approach. The reality is the Palestinians need to change pretty quickly if they want to be taken seriously as a would-be nation.
The Muslims don't have any evidence that support actually their connection to that land. They are invaders, and the Palestinians invaded the land. They are not an ethnic group. Then now they have been trying so hard to delegitimize the Jewish people. And what I say to the Palestinians, first of all, you need to prove your legitimacy before you try to delegitimize the indigenous people of the land. Once you succeed of showing us who you are, then we may talk to you about a state. But to claim that you have the land, even though the indigenous of the land, the Jewish people actually have been willing to share the land, and they were willing to share the land with the Arabs, but the Arabs refused. They had equal opportunity, just like the Jewish people, to declare their independence. But instead of declaring their independence back in 1948, they declared war against the Jewish people, only because they are Jewish people. Then 40 years later, in 1988, they declared their independence.
His frustration is palpable. His argument centers on the legitimacy of the Jewish claim to the land and the refusal of the Arab states to accept peaceful coexistence. But it's his devastating critique of Hamas that shakes the room.
Once what so-called Palestinians drop their violent approach to the problem and accept Israel's right to exist in that region, then we can talk about things. But to really water it down and say that this is a conspiracy, people like Cenk, they are living in a conspiracy theory, alternative reality. We tell them that this war, that Sinwar started in Gaza, is a very dirty war. He weaponized civilians only to get sympathy of people like Cenk and many others around the globe. This is the most destructive weapon in the hands of Hamas, and millions around the world fell into this trap. So as long as we empower Hamas, more children are going to die. And if we don't remove Hamas from power, if we don't remove the Ayatollah from power, then this endless and vicious cycle of violence will continue for eternity. It's as simple as that. But of course, in the meantime, we are aware of the suffering of the children. The children of Gaza were born Arab. They were born innocent. They were not born Palestinians. Then they had been indoctrinated to hate. They have been indoctrinated to blame Israel. As Cenk right now, he has been blaming Israel since the beginning of the war, but now he sees the defeat of Hamas. So now he's changing his tone a little bit, his attitude. And I like his cleverness. He's a very clever Palestinian. He's the perfect example of a Palestinian, by the way. Cenk, just right there. Because Palestinian is not limited to Gaza. Palestinian is a syndrome. It's a mental illness. It's a universal phenomenon. And Cenk is the perfect example. And if he gets hungry eventually, I will not be surprised that he will eat his own children.
The plight of children in war is tragic. It's that children in the Gaza Strip have suffered as a result of the war Hamas started. They did not ask for it, and they have been sacrificed by the Palestinian cause, which seems to see them as expendable. While Mosab is genuinely concerned for them, he mercilessly mocks the other guest on the show for his fake concern.
To analyze the mental state of this self-proclaimed savior of the Gaza children, he really touched my heart. Who authorized you to speak on behalf of the Arab children of Gaza? Who authorized you?
You just did. You
never been there. You don't care.
So am I Palestinian?
And now
or am I
you
not?
think you hold the higher moral ground. You don't.
I do.
You're not the savior. You always need a victim in order to pose as the savior. You're not the savior. First, learn how to control yourself. Learn how to control your tongue buds before you try to control the world. It's a big situation in Gaza. All of us are heartbroken for the death of the children of Gaza. All of us. That includes Israel. Israel considers what's happening in Gaza a tragedy. It's a tragedy made up by the terrorists that you sympathize with, that you want to validate and legitimize. Then we will have to deal with the chaos that you create, your emotional being, going all over the place. Who authorized you to speak on the behalf of the Gaza? Nobody did.
You did.
You self-proclaimed, just like Mahmoud Abbas, just like Yasser Arafat, just like all the Palestinians who have been feeding on the pain of the Palestinian children. You are a parasite, a bottom feeder. This is what you are. So before you speak against the Prime Minister of a democracy and accuse him of being a terrorist, you need to look at yourself in the mirror. You have been supporting Hamas and it's recorded against you for eternity. So don't play the game now that your fight is for the children in Gaza. This is not your fight. You know who's fighting for the children of Gaza? The IDF that is killing Hamas, that is uprooting Hamas so the children of Gaza can have their freedom after 36 years of slavery. Those are the ones who qualify to speak on the topic, not you sitting in your comfort. I mean, and you want to have an opinion about it.
All right,
this is the problem that we have dealing with scumbags like this.
Wow. He destroyed the other guest totally. You don't need to hear his comments. Trust me, you have heard it all before. Mosab is the star of this show because he really gets it and has no time for idiots with bland opinions and fake concern for Palestinians. The bigger picture is one where Israel has taken out many big terrorist leaders, and Mosab is clear that this is the right thing for them to have done.
Hassan Nasrallah's assassination was significant. The most significant assassination that I'm looking for is the assassination of Ayatollah, the head of the snake, who has been funding terrorists all over the Middle East to destabilize the region, who sacrificed Iranian children. He sent thousands of Iranian children to sweep minefields during the Iraqi-Iranian war. And he gave them keys and he said, this is the key to heaven. Then after that, he sacrificed Gaza children. He sacrificed Lebanon. He sacrificed Yemen. He is willing to sacrifice the entire world to satisfy his political ambition. This is the head of the snake. Sinwar was a great success. I will not cry for Sinwar's assassination. I was very pleased that simple soldiers who risked their lives since the beginning of the war got him finally by accident. Then you see the politicians around the world trying to take credit for Sinwar's death. It's a milestone. It's behind us, but this is not the end. We still have lots of work to do, and we cannot afford letting Iran get away with their crime. Because if we allow them, they are going to repeat another massacre. This time it was Hamas, next time it's going to be a new name.
Mosab's vision is clear. Remove the head of the snake, stop the cycle of violence, or prepare for more bloodshed. What do you think? Has he hit the nail on the head, or is this conflict even more complicated? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more bold takes like this.